I'm going to teach you guys how to make a no-sew blanket. It's really simple and it's really fun. All you have to do is really gather your materials, cut a few tabs, and tie some knots. It's a fun project to do to keep for yourself or to make them as a present. Me and my kids make them as presents. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need 2 pieces of like felt type fabric like this. You're going to want them relatively the same size. They're really cheap. I think I got these ones for like $5 a yard, so it's not very much. You're going to need some binder clips like these ones, the little black clips. A pair of scissors. I learned yesterday fabric scissors are a lot easier to do this with than regular scissors. You're going to need a Sharpie and a ruler. And you can get all of this at like your local craft store or your local Walmart. So you're going to need a big enough area to lay it flat like this, to lay both pieces of fabric flat, because you're going to take the first piece, whichever one you choose. I usually put a pattern on with a solid on the bottom, but you can do 2 patterns, whatever you want to do. And you're going to lay them on top and cut them to make sure they're relatively the same size. Like my bottom piece is a little bigger over here, but that doesn't really matter. So then what you're going to do once you lay them flat on top of each other is you're going to take your ruler and you're going to mark along the edge of your fabric, and you're going to mark it in every 2-inch marks. I like to do 2 inches, but you can make them a little bigger or a little smaller. It depends on how many of these little tabs you want. If you want a lot, you're going to want to do them smaller, and if you want them bigger, you're going to want to do them a little bit thicker. And then when you get all of your tabs marked, you're going to want to go lengthwise, and you're going to want to make them at least 2 inches long. I made these ones, I think they were 3 inches. And then once you have all of your 3-inch marks, tabs, so like here's my lines. So I made my little 2-inch marks all the way along, and then I made them 3 inches in length. And once you have all of those ones done, and they're all cut 3 inches, 3 in and 2 out, you're going to take your scissors, but you're going to want to take these binder clips off. It was just to hold like the fabric in place. So once you get these all off and all your lines are made, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut the fabric right along the line. You're going to want to cut right down the middle of the line that you made, so that if you can still see some of the Sharpie, it's not very noticeable. So when you cut them, you're going to be left with these tabs like this. You're going to have cut through both pieces of fabric so that you have the top and the bottom tab. Now you're going to tie them in a simple knot, and you're going to tie it like you're tying your shoe. So you're going to take one piece in each hand, and you're going to make an X, and then you're going to tuck one under and pull it tight, and then you're going to do the same thing again. One in each hand, make an X, pull one through and tie it tight. So you're going to keep doing that along the lines, whichever side you want. It doesn't matter where you start. And you're going to want to do that on all these lines, and then you're going to come to your corners, and your corner's going to look like this. It's going to have a lot of lines on it, but you're going to want to make it so that, here's 3 inches. So it's going to look kind of like that, but you're going to want to find 2 of them that are like, that come to a cross together, so that your corner will end up like this. But you're going to want to cut the corner so it's an inverted corner, and it will look like that when you're done. I already tied the first tab over here, but then you're going to want to make sure that you tie both of the corners at the same time. I did mine early, so I didn't cut them at the same time. But when you cut the corners at the same time, it's going to end up looking like this, so it's not really like a square. It's kind of curved on the edge. And then again, you're going to take them one in each hand, make an X, pull it through, and tie it tight twice. So then once you get your corners done and you do all of your sides, you're going to go on to the next side on the edge. You want to try to make sure that you have the same amount of tabs on each side so that it comes out even. You're going to have one side that's really long and one side that's really short. And that's about it. I mean, as long as you can tie your knots and you have 2 pieces of fabric, You're just going to keep cutting and tying, and then eventually, when you get done, it takes me usually about 30 minutes to make one like this size, but this is a size for like my 1-year-old. When you're done, it will look like this. And so you made your own blanket, and you made it really quick, really cheap, and it's really fun to do. You can do it by yourself or with your kids or with a friend, and it will end up a nice cozy little blankie that you did all by yourself.